What's up, guys? This is Lord Mafka, aka Rogan Alzryan, and in today's video, I want to talk about we are forced to do things we don't want to do. And this is the same scenario that we keep seeing just go on in our lives. I mean, no one wants to wake up and work or two or three jobs. No one wants to go around the same people every day or stay in the same household with people that you just can't stand and despise, right? We are forced to always be in situations that we don't want to be. And this is why I'm of the notion now that free will is really a lie. Like, your life is pretty much just written and determined before you're even born. Because if that weren't the case, then you would be able to control most things that come into your life. Or even if I were to say that most of your life you don't have control, you just have control of how you react to it somewhat. But you still have to remember that we have all types of different DNA in our body. We have just these thoughts, these emotions that just come instantly. And if you aren't able to work through that, then you can end up making the decision that could cost you your livelihood or even worse, your own life. So it really just makes me think back to the times to when I was younger, being forced to go to school on days to where I didn't want to go because it's like I didn't fit in with anything that was going on, and just the peers that I had were just so unbearable and annoying to be around. Our whole lives are just centered around pleasing other people who have already planned out other things for us. And it really makes you question the whole concept of free will. So if your life is already being planned out before you're even here by your parents, by society, by these higher forces that you don't even know of, how do you truly have the free will that you think you have over your life? Then you would be able to live an actual free life to where you don't have to work, you don't have to talk to anyone. You would be able to live a free life to where you don't have to go along with program in society. As long as you're not hurting other people or even yourself, then it should be all fine. But this whole thing of us being forced to do things that we don't want to do, it just further shows how evil this society and this realm that we are living in is. Because there's no way that you should have people around our ages in, early to mid to late 20s or even older than that, still acting as if they are burdened by something, a parent just watching over them every second to where they have to watch what words they say, they have to watch everything they do correctly just to please society. The censorship in today's society is insane. There was a time to back then to where you were allowed to say certain things and there really wouldn't be any penalties for it because people would understand, okay, people have their own minds, that they should be allowed to convey that even if you don't disagree with that. But there's still a point of friction between having a difference of opinion and disrespect. But the whole topic of being able to express your mind freely and disagree, that's something that shouldn't be censored. But we see in today's society, it's becoming even harder to express yourself. I mean, look at how they treat men whenever they try to open up emotionally and tell people what's wrong with them. They're told that they're soft, they're told that they're punks, they're told that they're looking for someone to feel sorry for them, and they're ostracized immediately. So it's a further symptom of how sick modern society is, and any sane person would not want any part of being in today's world, man. Because the most thing that you're going to get from interacting with the daily person is a person is who is going to disappoint you every chance they get, someone who already has an agenda they want to push on you. And this is just such a repetitive thing. You're always having to battle against someone else's nonsense, their BS that they're trying to put on you. And it makes it to where you just want to be a hermit and sit in your room all day and not deal with anyone. I can count on my hands how many times to where I've dealt with a bunch of people that have made me just feel out of place. Like, it is just senseless to even exist. These are the type of people that I've come across to make you that wish that you're never even born. And it just shows you how disgusting and wretched people's behavior have become even more, man. Like, just going to my job every day, it makes me regret even being able to hear sometimes, which is brutal, right? And that's sad to say, but it makes me regret even being able to hear it, because all of the things that these people talk about are just so meaningless. The daily gossip, who has what more, who should be doing this, who should be doing that. It's all a waste of time to even infringe or get interested in, because it really doesn't change how we're living all of these shallow and meaningless lifestyles that really don't contribute or make us feel even whole. So we are always forced to be in a place of servitude some way, right? By work, by having to listen to other people if you live with them, having to just go around people. And if you're going into a certain establishment, you are expected to act a certain way. Most likely you're expected to follow certain rules, even if they may be tacky, such as, oh, you can't wear these color clothing, you can't have this type of behavior, you can't be a little awkward, introverted. So we have all these rules that are telling people that you shouldn't act the way that you want to be, and you shouldn't be comfortable with who you are. And it just further breeds this unnecessary insecurity into all of us, man. So it really makes me get to more of a point to where I'm going against everything that is just so toxic and suppressing in this society. Because the more that you see people behave in a way of being okay with this is how you know that humanity is, it's about to be done for soon. And with the rise of AI, all of this technology is coming out. It's only going to make it worse, to where I go out and every day I'll see everyone, teenagers, adults, all just glued to their phone, just looking at it like they're looking through a portal. And it's sad to see, because people a few years ago, they were more, how should I say, they would interact more with each other. They were a little more polite. But nowadays, it's empty code, artificial, robotic, systematic. It really makes you feel like you don't have a purpose to be here, because what's the purpose of being a piece of meat that's just hooked to technology all day? There's no real, authentic, genuine connections with people. There is no courtesy left in people, really. Everyone that you go by, they just look past you and then they just go to the next person. And this is especially the case if you're an outcast guy. I mean, you're going to have a very brutal life, dude. So you really can't expect the niceness, the kindness in people to shine forth and aid you in actually feeling a little more better. Because once you're doing that, you're still depending on other people to be a source of validation for you. And that's always a losing game. And I think back to the times to where I believed in this stuff, this nonsense about the good energy that you put out towards other people. It's supposed to come back to you and you reap this certain reward from God, the universe, or whatever, when we see the total opposite happening. You always see the people who have done the worst things in life getting rewarded. And some people may say that they're only getting rewarded quickly for the time being. But that still doesn't excuse the fact that you have many people who live decent lifestyles, people that don't go out their way to bother anyone. And they're still being targets of people trying to mess with them all day, trying to ruin and sabotage their life. And then you find yourself in a situation to where you're forced to have to defend yourself, even if you don't want to fight. This is just another example of how we're just forced to do things we don't want to. You're forced to have to defend yourself. You're forced to have to adopt a certain mindset of survival of the fittest, doing what's necessary to just make it to the next day. And this type of mindset, this mentality, is making things worse, really, for society. Because the more that we're drifting apart as a world, as a community, the more issues you're going to see pop up. You're going to have people with more mental issues. I mean, you think it's bad right now. Wait till it gets to a point to where you're on the streets and everyone is just trying to attack each other, rob each other, take something, I mean, it's going to be brutal to a point to where you can't leave the house, because this is how on edge that people are becoming. If they're not arguing about race, politics, what drama's going on, they're too busy trying to put their insecurities on other people. Like, oh, this person looks this way. Oh, this person doesn't have as much money as me. I mean, it's a tiring trend, man, and we really have to find a way to get around this stuff. And the best thing that I can really say to give you some life fuel here is you really have to go your own way and just do things to the best of your ability to create and innovate for your own objectives in life. And a lot of times it's going to mean that you're going to have to be very cold in the way you interact with people and leave a lot of people behind. And I mean, these people most likely have left you behind emotionally and mentally wise. So there's nothing even left for you to even reminisce on memory wise. So this is why you have to be able to move on in your life without being emotionally affected a lot by how people are acting around you, about how things are changing constantly in this world. You really have to find a standstill point to where you are no longer being swayed by the influence around you. And that's a very difficult journey to take every day, but you have to work towards getting to that, because that is the only thing that's going to keep you rock solid in a world of savages and just crazy and sickening and depraved people. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me if you guys want me to elaborate on the comment section. I would highly appreciate it. My sinus isn't acting up so much, due to the cold weather for some strange reason. But thankfully, I'm able to make this video, somewhat more coherently with my voice. But you guys take care. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the Model 1. Thank you.